Hey everyone, it's Jim
And Charles
from Mellow Amps, and it's time to start assembling things, which means we must be almost done, which means it's time to talk about the first track, because it's not that far away. We have a little bit of electrical testing to do, and then we'll be in system.
Yeah.
Charles, have you thought about what your first track is going to be?
I'm not sure yet. What about you?
Well, for a couple of days, I had to clear a lot of 6080s for test builders, and we needed match pairs, and then we do a live test. So we actually were using the first production prototype, and I actually listened to them for both sound quality, but more importantly, I'm listening to hear if there's any problems with the tubes. So I was using In a Wild Garden, one of my favorite test tracks, and I'm actually getting tired of that. So I'm thinking I want to do something long and slow and mellow.
Okay.
Just sort of chill out after the stress of all of the filming and building and so I'm thinking something by Pharoah Sanders, maybe what I consider to be one of his more traditional seminal tracks called Harvest Time. And it actually was just recently reissued in a box set that is gorgeous. So if you like great sax playing with overtones, very similar to the way Miles Davis plays the trumpet, actually, I'd go with something like Pharoah Sanders, but Harvest Time. But, choose a track that you're familiar with, that you love, that's got good detail, that'll bring your new amp to life. And yeah, so go with what you want.
And it won't be long until we're listening to it.
Okay, so go ahead and grab a hex driver. Now, the corner blocks are all they're all 3D printed, so they're all ABS plastic.
Not quite. ASA plastic. It's a form of ABS. And they've been tapped.
Yeah, but it is plastic, so you don't want to strip them out. So you do not want to be using a power driver. You're just going to do it by hand. Now, we've left all of the corners slightly loose when we assembled it, and that's going to make wiggling this thing around a lot easier. And just line up your corner holes and get your screws started. And once you have them all started, then you can bring them down. Okay, I'll see you back in a minute. Okay, so I very gently dropped all the screws down on the chassis, and I'm going to show you how I tighten them down. Be careful, you don't want to slip with your screwdriver. It's one of the reasons why we use these hex fasteners, because once you're in, you're locked.
It's really hard to slip off.
Notice how I'm using a fairly small screwdriver. So I'm just gently bringing it down. I did most of it by hand, but I'm bringing it down the last little bit with the driver.
Well, by finger, I guess, is the better way to say it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if you could, have a tool set in the tip of your finger. But anyways, that's maybe a few years in the future. Okay, so now you just want to bring it until you're at 0 and maybe 1/8 of a turn, and you're done. Do not over tighten these, or you will strip them out. Okay, excellent. What's next? Okay, so go ahead and grab your 4 feet and unwrap them, and you're going to need the 4 O-rings. And we're going to install the O-rings into the feet, into the recess, and just press them in and then work them in until they're all flat. So you see how I got a little bump there? So if I work that in a little bit, and like that, until everything is in and flat. Might take a few seconds to get it, but it won't take too much. So do the rest of those, and I'll see you back in a minute. Okay, and grab 4 M3 by 10 truss head screws. And the feet go on the side that the label's on, because we want, of course, the label to show on the outside of the amp. And they go here, not here, no.
There's a slightly inset hole on each corner, and that's where the feet go on.
Yeah. So you can just get them started by hand. I find it a little bit easier to get a driver on the end, so I just grab a driver like this.
And just like with the corner blocks, this is ASA plastic, and it's been threaded, but you don't want to use a power driver with them.
So we're just going to get them all on loosely at first, and then we'll torque them down. I'll see you back in a minute. Okay, now the parts all have a little tiny seam. So if you're fussy, and we are, you might want to stick it somewhere where you can't see it. So you can see there's a little seam there. So I'm going to actually turn it so that it's just sort of facing the middle.
You can also face it towards the back too.
And then just snug it down. Notice I'm not putting a lot of torque. As soon as it's snug, I'm done. So go ahead and finish up the rest of them, and we'll be all done.